We have Warrior of Light at S. He's kind of weird, where he's not really a tank, but he's more like the Holy Knight, you know? He's got the Holy Chain going for him. He's got a good Holy DPS USB, DPS BSB. Does a lot of holy damage. And he's got a good Holy Chain, which allows to, which not only starting the chain gives HP stock 2,000 to the entire party, so that's nice. Unfortunately, I don't think Warrior of Light has any Sentinel available to him, so you do have his tank Legend Materia. And while the cover Legend Materia isn't that effective for the people that use Sentinel, okay, he does get Sentinel. Yeah, this is probably why Warrior of Light got into the S tier for me, is because he is such a damaging Holy Knight and enables holy damage teams and Knight teams so well, as well as he can just start out the fight with Last Stand and Sentinel, which makes him into a tank, at least for 25 seconds, which is really good. Yep, as Shimra says in chat right now, we got 2 waifu knights coming. We have Celes, Beatrix, and Agrias. Beatrix and Agrias are easy. They're practically the same person, except Beatrix has White Magic 5, useful sometimes. She can Curata, it's kind of neat. But really, they use their Imperial Holy Burst Soul Breaks to Sentinel themselves, increase their resistance, so they attract targets and imperil. So they're very high soul break generation characters that also tank, which allows them to be strong Guardbringer users against imperiled targets. And the real difference in why both of them are here, even though Beatrix has the dual cast Legend Materia for Knight, is Agrias has an Imperil Legend Materia, so she can stack Imperil better than Beatrix can, benefiting the team more. And Agrias also has access to Cleansing Strike, which is an extremely strong minus 50% attack and magic debuff. So they've got their little tack-ons at the end. Beatrix being more high damage, Agrias being more supportish and utility, but both definitely deserve to be here. Celes is the Mage Knight, her Grand Cross that is available on her Super Soul Break, and more importantly on her Burst Soul Break too. It's what defines her as a Knight character, because she taunts the black magic and the white magic, and I believe blue magic as well. That is a thing, by the way. BLU type magic exists. It's very rare, but it exists. And in addition to being a strong Mage Knight taunter, she also does a high amount of damage over multi-elements. Because she can utilize, due to her Burst Soul Break and her Legend Materia, they allow her to generate a lot of Soul Break, dual cast Spellblades, and increase her Spellblade damage with her Burst Soul Break. And it allows her, for anything that she can use, like a 5-star Spellblade or above, she can do good damage for, as well as being the Mage tank. And that's why she's here, because nobody else can deal that kind of damage and yet still have no one can do Grand Cross, so there's that. And she needed to be good other than Grand Cross, because it's a gimmick that's not always useful, and she is. The Burst Soul Break 2 is what gets her there. A tier, we have someone that is a candidate for S. I understand that he's A here, but he's probably going to move to S the next time I do this in a few months. I'm a much more bigger fan of Earth damage than I was when I first started doing these lists. I originally said that Gladiolus and Ingus are tied together because you need to be able to take advantage of Ingus's Earth chain in order for it to be as good as it can be. It does grant Last Stand to the entire party as its runner, which is good by itself. But I think there's more Earth damage in this game than I gave credit for. So if you want to consider Ingus as S tier, please, by all means. Um, he's probably going to move up on the next list. His Tauntaliate BSB is a very strong Burst Soul Break, which does a lot of damage by itself because it is an Earth and allows him to Sentinel with one command and Retaliate with the other. So it's the full package as far as dealing damage is concerned. Again, lending credibility to Ingus as a powerful Earth Knight. And he has an amazing, just like Agrias, minus a 50% attack and magic super soul break. That is also the only plus Earth damage sword in the game. Great relic, great soul break. Ingus has a real nice package of stuff going for him. I didn't list his legend materia though. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his legend materia. I do like knight abilities to do more damage because everything he does is knight abilities, except for his soul breaks, which is, you know, it's a thing. So I'd rather this was damage done with a sword or axe, I guess. That's why they didn't give it to him, because his CSB is an axe. If this is plus 50% attack, then that's good. I'd like that cleared up. And my problem with this legend materia is, although this is a good legend materia, with the 25% chance to reduce damage taken by 30% when equipping a shield, that's just a flat reduction that you get sometimes. The problem with that is there are no earth damage plus shields in the game, only earth damage plus heavy armor, and light armor and robe and stuff like that. So it doesn't work well with what Ingus is bringing to the table, you know. Cecil, we have the tank dude. Originally, he had the original Unholy Burst, and it was really nice back in the day during the age of Saint Cross. It's definitely shown its age, where it only has a single hit command, which is, you know, it's fine because a lot of people do have Saint Cross, and now we have Guardbringer too. So it's not a dead USB or BSB, but he's more well known now for his tank BSB, which gives him Sentinel on cast, and just allows him to be a beefcake and take the hits for the team. And he can also deal a fair amount of damage as well with his USB, which is also Unholy, and grants him HP Sock 6000 and a lot of defense while he's at it. It's a Guardbringer USB because of that defense and the HP Stock and the Unholy. So you use the USB and then you just spam Guardbringer. Guardbringer is an excellent ability, by the way, and it's a pretty vital part of a lot of these guys' kits. Even the Earth Knights, so the Earth Knights can do effective holy damage, even though they're used to doing Earth. And Cecil does have a cover legend materia, though it is extremely powerful by itself, loses a lot of effectiveness if you're using his BSB. It is a very powerful legend materia if you're using his USB, though. If you're using him as a Nightbringer USB character, that means that he gets plus defenses and stuff to use with that Nightbringer. But the Master Cover legend material, I'll show you right now. 40% chance to cover physical attacks that target allies, reducing damage taken by 50%. This is good because if you're using him as a Guardbringer with his USB, he has no way of drawing fire while he's doing it. So this turns him into a tank / damage dealer. So that is a reason why I do like his USB. When I saw it, I thought I was a little unimpressed by it. But his legend materia definitely makes it a little better. Where if you're just using his tank BSB, the cover legend materia is useless. With Seodor, he is here because he is really unique. Nobody paladins like the Seodor paladins. He heals on entry with his burst, and he heals passively with his first command. Does 4 times single target holy while healing the lowest member of your party. It's really good. And because status blink is a useful thing, we love to see it on many things that people carry. Seeing a smart Asuna AoE command for Seodor's second command on his BSB is a really nice thing, because that can remove the need to use something like a status blink, and so you can use, cover that and do healer things or do support things that don't involve status blink instead, and get more strength. The reason why Celador is A instead of S is because this is all he has. It's all he's got is his BSB. He does have an attachedly Super Soul Break too, but come on. If they develop this character in the future, he has strong S tier potential, but right now he is his BSB and nothing else. Auron moved up in the world like something fierce. I originally, I would have considered him a D tier knight. He, I believe on this list, is the only character on this list that doesn't have Knight 5. He only has Knight 3. So he relies heavily on his USB, and that's okay because his USB is remarkable. It applies a 3-stat debuff, as well as giving him Sentinel. This is what turns him into a real knight. He definitely dons his armor, and applies Magic Blink to the entire party, as well as doing strong single target damage. It's a very, very, very stacked USB, and his character revolves around it. Otherwise, all he's got is his DPS-based Burst Soul Break 2, which allows him to do some fire damage. But if you've got his USB, then you've got what makes Auron a strong character. And that's what gets him here. It's just this extremely powerful USB. With dual cast Legend Materia, I guess the dual cast Legend Materia is more for using his BSB. I don't know why I mentioned it here. Does it apply debuffs or something? Or like extend duration? Auron can dual cast Samurai. Gets plus attack for each hit taken. Yeah, this is more... His Legend Materia is more damage focused, which he can do effectively. And that's a nice thing. But really, in order for him to compete at A tier, he needs his USB, which is part of the Final Fantasy X event that has Riku's USB. The first banner with Riku's USB is a pretty bad banner. However, the second banner is at least acceptable if you're looking for Final Fantasy X things. And one of the reasons why is because Auron's USB is on it. It's just got more accompanying stuff than Riku's does. And Gladiolus moves in at A. He's a very simple character, but he's another DPS Earth Knight like Ingus. He doesn't have a chain, but he has an excellent Burst Soul Break that provides him Sentinel and... What else? What is on your second command? Sentinel's on the second command. Oh, okay. And he has a pseudo Guardbringer thing on his first command. So it's an Earth Guardbringer, where he gets 5 attacks if you've got 2,490 defense, which is pretty easy to hit for someone like Gladiolus. What makes him A tier is the synergy that he gets with his Legend Materia, I believe. Oops, passed it. Can cover attacks, don't care. I'm softening on Gladiolus a little bit. Because I know I don't like the ability to cover when you're a Sentinel Knight. It really is probably just the fact that... oh yeah, he has an OSB and a strong Super Soul Break too. Okay, that's why. So he has okay Legend Materia. A very strong Burst Soul Break, OSB, and a good Super Soul Break. That's why we got him. And luckily, all of this appears on the same banner. So that makes it easier to make a case for him. And not only is it on the same banner, it's on a banner that he shares with 2 S-Class characters. Oh yeah, the attack 50% grants last stand of party is a good Super Soul Break, complimentary. Alright, that's Knights. Banners. We have one coming up in one day. The Celador Kane Banner 1 is a pretty good banner. Not like top tier banner, but a pretty good one that has Theodore and Kane on it. And it has Yang's Burst Soul Break 2, which is one of the strongest Earth DPS Burst Soul Breaks. It's just a fairly decent banner. Right, Gladiolus' OSB is the only plus fire 6-star native sword. Again, since we have Celes, that makes the Final Fantasy VI Celes Sabin Banner 1 another target. So that is shown up on support, knight, and healers so far. Yeah, I mean, it's just a strong banner. And then 1 week later is the Steiner VV Banner 2, which is about as strong, I'd say, as the Theodore banner, except it's very heavily focused toward Beatrix. There's some misses on it. I don't want to upplay it as a super strong one.